No, Mona, it was not your fault.
Then whose fault was it?
Be more compassionate.
You're right. Mona, I forgive you for making a big old stinky mess of everything.
Something weird happened to me. Well, something weird happened to me, too. They made me supervisor. Well, that's great. Is it? I've been here 16 days, Marvin. That Filipino over there has been here 5 years.
I owe you, man.
Man, you don't be shit, all right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, pretty sensible, man. What you up in here for? It's a long story.
He had killed the son bitch with a claw hammer when he was 13-year-old.
So that.
Sisters hate when a brother marry a white girl, boy. I hate shit. Be in church. Oh, I love the Lord. Jesus been so good to me. No, Jerome, didn't bring that white up in this motherfucker. I'm a pimp. How about that?
You're married?
On Sundays, I am.
His comedy became very dark. His personality became very dark. He was drinking more. And, he was getting a little bit of trouble out there.
He tried to get in fights. We had an incident with some policemen in Houston. I mean, Trick Daddy had to pull a guy aside. I said, look what just happened, man. The voice of reason was Trick Daddy. That don't wake you up. Nothing will.
I was so anti-marriage. Love, because it'll you. I wasn't angry at my ex-wife. I was angry that it didn't work.
What happens when two brothers from St. Louis decide to take on Hollywood's comedy scene, and one of them ends up creating the most influential platform for Black comedians in the 90s? And why is Guy Torry calling himself gifted by God all over social media these days?
You don't turn a woman on a house. Look at him. Hercules, Hercules, Hercules. I don't care how you look. You can be everything. I got a house. She be like, oh, you're so cute.
Born Robert Guy Torry II in St. Louis, Missouri on the 5th of January 1969 to Rebecca and Robert Torry, this man came from humble beginnings. However, he had something special brewing from day one. His name literally means to shine bright and to lead. And baby, the universe wasn't playing when it gave him that combination. Growing up with his older brother Joe Torry, comedy was in their DNA. But Guy, he was the one with the vision that nobody saw coming.
And I guess now thinking about that brings me to Fat Tuesdays and why I created it, because there was a void. No one said, go create this room. It was like, oh shit, they're not coming to see us. I need to change that.
Young Guy attended Southeast Missouri State University. He was supposed to be focused on his marketing degree, but instead, he's holding impromptu comedy slams in the dorm break rooms.
I'm a class clown. I'm a campus clown in college, so I didn't know that you could get money off this.
Students would be crying laughing, and Guy's out here getting a master class in reading the room. But here's where it gets interesting. He wasn't even planning to be a comedian at first. It was 1992 when everything changed. Guy saw Russell Simmons' Def Comedy Jam on HBO and had what you might call a spiritual awakening. This wasn't just entertainment. This was a revolution.
It took a lot of brothers to the promised land. A lot of the Black sitcoms during that time was because of what the success of Def Comedy Jam.
Black comedians were getting prime time, uncensored, unapologetic. Guy packed his bags and followed his brother Joe Torry to Los Angeles. But hold up, he didn't go to chase fame. He went to finish that marketing degree. But Los Angeles had other plans, friend. Within 2 years of practicing his craft, Guy landed his debut on Def Comedy Jam, the very show that inspired him to change his whole life path.
I always would give Def Comedy Jam as the thing that made Guy Torry.
Now that's what I call manifestation. But here's where most people think the story ends. They think Guy just became another successful comedian. Oh no, that was just the warm-up. You see, Guy Torry didn't just want to be in the game. He wanted to change the game. He even walked away from Hollywood. Can you imagine?
The industry will lie to you, tell you how much they love you. You're the only person for this role. And as a comedian, I got shows booked, cancel that gig, come in for this audition. Something that's not guaranteed, leave a day later and miss press to sell tickets to your show because they really like you for this role. And you do all that and you don't get the job.
And what he did next would literally reshape how Black comedy was discovered, developed, and delivered to the masses. But before we get to that revolutionary moment, let me tell you about the obstacles he faced that nobody talks about. In the mid-90s, Guy Torry did something that had never been done before. He created Fat Tuesdays at the world-famous Comedy Store in Hollywood.
Fat Tuesdays was really birthed out of hip-hop. Hip-hop was a culture. Hip-hop, we weren't talking about rap. We were talking about the whole culture of hip-hop, which was fashion, which was music, which was comedy, which was poetry.
Now, listen carefully, because this is where the game changed forever. Every Tuesday night, Guy turned that comedy club into a cultural phenomenon. We're talking about a space where Black comedians could perform uncensored, unfiltered, and unapologetically themselves.
I'm at a comfortable age where I will admit to everybody in here that I will never go to jail because I'm a snitch. If you don't want the cops, though, don't do the shit around me because I will cooperate with the authority.
But here's what most people don't know. Guy wasn't just running a comedy night. He was literally creating a pipeline from the streets to the studios.
And I created because there was a lack of opportunity for black comedians in the hood. After the Rodney King riots in 1992, industry quit going to the hood to see black comedians. And by 95, I had a couple credits under my belt. And I said, you know what? I'm going to bring the hood to Hollywood.
Hollywood executives started showing up every Tuesday, scouting for the next big thing. Dave Chappelle, Chris Tucker, Steve Harvey, Bernie Mac, they all graced that stage.
Every Tuesday is in this room. Fat Tuesday.
Guy basically created the modern blueprint for how comedians' careers got launched. Energy was electric, the crowd was live, and the comedy was revolutionary. But here's what's crazy. While Guy was busy building this empire, creating opportunities for others, and literally changing the face of comedy, he somehow became the unsung hero of his own story. People started getting discovered at his show, signing deals because of his platform, and building careers off his vision.
Fat Tuesdays was like a melting pot for like genius.
Now, I ain't saying Guy was bitter about it. The man has always been about lifting others up. But can we talk about how crazy it is that the creator of one of the most influential comedy platforms in history somehow didn't become the household name? Guy was out here playing chess while everyone else was playing checkers, but the chess master rarely gets the credit. You feel me? The success of Fat Tuesdays was so massive that it eventually got documented. Guy created a whole documentary about it called Fat Tuesdays: The Era of Hip Hop Comedy, directed by Reggie Hudlin and co-produced by Amazon and Kelsey Grammer's Gramnet.
Guy was like, Hollywood don't want to come to the hood, so let's take the hood to Hollywood.
The documentary got a 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, won an Uptown Magazine Honors Award, and was named one of the New York Times Best Documentaries of 2022. It was even in the running for an Emmy. But here's the part that's gonna make you think. Guy had to make a documentary about his own creation just to get the recognition he deserved. Think about that for a second. Don't get it twisted though. Guy Torry's resume is absolutely stacked. This man has been in films.
She was my half sister, so I cut her ass in half. At least I ain't the one who poisoned my own mom and pop. Now, tell that.
And can you believe it? He has maintained a stand-up comedy career that spans over 3 decades. He's worked alongside some of the biggest names in entertainment, and his comedy style has influenced countless performers. But that's not how he started.
My first job was being an extra in a music video. Celine Dion, Love Can Move Mountains. I was an extra in Family Matters' famous cafeteria fight scene.
But here's what separates Guy from the pack. He's never been just about the spotlight. While other comedians were chasing fame, Guy was chasing legacy. He understood that real power comes from creating platforms, not just performing on them. That marketing degree he went to finish? Yeah, he used every bit of that knowledge to build something bigger than himself. The man has been performing stand-up, consistently building his brand, and stayed connected to his roots.
And 22, that's your number. That's not your age, man. Quit.
His website literally declares, "I am a leader, not a follower. I lead. I'm a trailblazer." And honestly, the receipts back it up.
First of all, my brothers, my whole family are role models. You know, one of my older sisters is a track coach in St. Louis, Roberta, man. She's a real hero and star of the family. You know, my other sister, Christina, is a journalist. She's very good at what she does. My brother, Ramon, lieutenant, colonel in the military, served overseas in Afghanistan, Iraq. He's like the real hero of the family other than my dad and my mom. And, you know, them, and they always are encouraging. Joe, of course, is the reason why I'm doing stand-up is he inspired me to do stand-up.
Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the Torry brothers. Joe Torry, Guy's older brother, has a successful career as both a comedian and actor. He's got his own production company, MO Films, and has built a solid reputation in the industry. People would always compare them or mistake them for each other.
Falling into the footsteps of my older siblings and doing the same thing they did.
But here's where it gets interesting. Both brothers made it, but they took completely different paths to success.
Trying to make his own name for himself. So he just been living in the little brother shadow since I gave to Torry that celebrity name.
Joe focused more on the traditional route, acting, producing, and building his brand as a performer. Guy, he went the entrepreneurial route, creating opportunities for others while building his legacy. It's like watching 2 different approaches to the same dream. And honestly, both methods work. There's never been any public drama between the brothers. They've always supported each other's careers. But you gotta wonder about the family dynamics when both siblings are in the same competitive industry. How do you navigate success when your brother is also in the game? The Torry brothers seem to have figured it out, maintaining their relationship while building their individual brands. Or haven't they?
My brothers and I relationship is up and down. It's depends on the day, depends on the week, depends on the month, depends on the event.
Guy Torry has been relatively private about his personal life, which in today's social media world is pretty impressive. The man understands the difference between public persona and private life, and he's maintained that boundary throughout his career. He was married, though, to Monica Askew from 2002 to 2008.
I was so anti-marriage. Love, because it'll you. I wasn't angry at my ex-wife. I was angry that it didn't work.
What we do know is that Guy has always been spiritually grounded. His social media presence often reflects his faith and his belief in purpose-driven living. He regularly posts about God's light shining through him, about being gifted by the divine, and about his role as a leader in the community. At 56 years old, Guy is still performing, still creating, and still pushing boundaries. In an industry where many comedians burn out or fade away, Guy has maintained his relevance and his passion for the craft. That's not just talent. That's discipline, vision, and an understanding of longevity over quick success. So, what's Guy Torry up to in 2025 and beyond? Well, he's still performing stand-up, maintaining his website and social media presence, and continuing to build his brand. The man has embraced the digital age while staying true to his roots. He's still the same guy who created Fat Tuesdays, always looking for ways to innovate and create opportunities. Guy's also been expanding his reach through various platforms, maintaining his connection to the comedy community while exploring new avenues for his creativity.
Black babies are the root magicians that make daddies disappear. Your girl be, honey, I'm pregnant. That nigga, abracadabra, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
Now, let's talk numbers, because y'all always want to know about the bag. Guy Torry's net worth is estimated around $500,000 as of 2025. Think about this. How many comedians today can trace their career back to Fat Tuesdays? How many opportunities were created because Guy Torry had the vision to create a space where Black comedy could flourish without compromise? The ripple effects of Guy's creation are still being felt today. But here's what's really crazy. Guy did all of this before social media, before viral videos, before the internet made it easy to build a following. He built a cultural phenomenon using just vision, hustle, and an understanding of what the community needed. Fat Tuesdays wasn't just a comedy show. It was a movement.
Good to be in Biloxi, Mississippi. M-I, crooked letter, I. Y'all done misspelled your own.
The man understood something that most people miss. Sometimes the most powerful position is behind the scenes, creating opportunities for others to succeed. Guy chose to be the architect instead of just another brick in the wall. And that choice has had a lasting impact on comedy culture. That's old school genius right there. Guy Torry didn't just make it in Hollywood. He made Hollywood better. And that's the real juice.